Hi everyone, I'm Hextasy, and a lot of people think a lot of Pokemon look pretty darn tasty, and there's quite a few Pokemon I wouldn't mind eating. So today we'll be doing a hardcore Nuzlocke of Pokemon Black 2 using only Pokemon I would eat. Beginning with our starter, we got ourselves Baconator the Tepig, a pig that cooks itself. Baconator quickly overcomes our rival's Oshawott, and then we can head over to Route 20 where we find a Pokemon resembling one of my favorite snacks, sunflower seeds. We then head over to the Penis Grass where we'll have our second rival fight. It's looking pretty close, but Sunflower lands a critical hit absorb to win the fight. Afterwards we'll be taking on the first gym leader, Charon. He starts with a Patrat and we bring out the Baconator, who takes it out with just a few embers. Lillipup is in next, and after it lands a few tackles, this matchup doesn't look very favorable for us. So we're going to be banking on the power boost from Baconator's ability to net us the win after a tackle brings us to just 6 HP. It's not enough to KO, but it does wind up burning Lillipup. Charon heals as we swap out to Sunflower, and after we land a few absorbs, Lillipup goes down to win us the first badge. We evolve Baconator into a Pignite, and then we train up at the Verbank complex, where unfortunately, none of the Pokemon look very edible. The second gym leader is the Poison Trainer Roxy, and by spamming Flame Charge, we quickly come out on top to win us the second badge. We next head to Castelia City, where we find a Whimsicott in the park, a Pokemon that really looks like a gingerbread man to me. But it's also like 80% cotton, so I'll have to give a pass on this one. So it's right to the third gym leader, Berg, but as a bug-type trainer, he suffers the same fate as Roxy, and a few flame charges wins us the fight. Our first fight with Colress is next, and while getting paralyzed slows down our flame charge spam, we do eventually sweep his team and head further into Route 4 where we find a Trubbish. The pink and blue spots remind me of Cosmic Brownie sprinkles, and if I'm being honest, eating this thing is probably healthier. Next, we're heading into the Desert Resort where we find Cactus Juice the Maractus, and then we can head over to Lost Lorn Forest where we catch us a Venipede. Yeah, I can eat this. Maybe just one bite. Okay, maybe I can't, but I've already committed to the bit. We also grab ourselves a Sunstone, and we can evolve Sunflower into a Sunflora, an endless source of sunflower seeds. Next, we're up against the fourth gym leader, Elisa. She starts with her Emolga, and we bring out Sunflower. Since they have no flying type moves, we can freely set up an Ingrain and Leech Seed to heal, before starting to use Growth to boost our special attack. And once that's maxed out, we can take out each of our Pokemon with a Giga Drain to win us the fight. Next, we're heading over to the Driftvale Drawbridge to catch us our next snack, a Ducklet. And over at Route 6, we grab ourselves a Deerling, a Pokemon that changes form based on the season along with its evolution, and in my opinion, the fall variant looks to be the tastiest. And after some training, our next opponent will be Clay, the fifth gym leader. He opens with a Krokorok, and we bring out Duck, who is outsped and nailed by a Crunch that drops our defense. There's a chance we don't survive the second attack, so we swap out to Bug on another Crunch. Our Poison Point ability activates, and the poison damage brings Krokorok into healing range. So Clay heals it up, but then a Bug Bite is a one-hit KO. Excadrill comes in next, so we protect on a Rock Slide before we swap out to Sunflower. They lose half their HP to a Rock Slide, and a second nearly takes them out, but we're able to land a Leech Seed. We then switch to the Baconator on another Rock Slide, and Leech Seed restores a solid amount of the damage we take. Expecting a Ground-type move, we swap to Duck, but they're hit by a Metal Claw instead. So it's back to the Baconator, who has to tank another Rock Slide, and this time we don't switch out again. We're hit by the Metal Claw, and a Flame Charge nearly takes them out. And thanks to the speed boost, we're faster now, so one more Flame Charge takes out Excadrill. Finally, we need to deal with Sand Slash. Ember takes out around a third of its HP, and their Bulldoze takes out more than half of our remaining HP. We swap out to Oh Dear on a Bulldoze, and we're left with just 69 HP. Nice. They outspeed, and a Crush Claw does a bit of damage, but also drops our defense. Energy Ball misses out on the KO, and not wanting to risk anything, we bring out Cactus Juice, who can take out Sandslash with a Giga Drain to win us the 5th gym badge. Afterwards, we can evolve Oh Dear into a Sawsbuck, Duck into a Swanna, Baconator to an Emboar, Sprinkles into a Garbodor, and back at the Relic Castle, we actually caught one more Pokemon, but couldn't use it until it evolved. And it's even more of a questionable choice than eating the sentient pile of garbage. If there was a Tide Pod Pokemon, I'd be catching them for this challenge. Remember that old petition to drink the juice from that one sarcophagus? Introducing Mummy Juice the Cofagrigus. And while they are able to take out the Swoobat of Skyla, the 6th gym leader, her Swanna kills Mummy Juice without taking any damage. Amazing. So Sprinkles is in next, and after a couple of acid sprays, we can finish off Swanna with a Sludge Bomb. Her final Pokemon is a Skarmory, so we switch to Duck as they use Agility. They go for some Air Cutters, but it hardly hurts us, and a couple Surfs takes out Skarmory to win the fight. With the 6th gym badge in our possession, we can head over to Reversal Mountain, where we catch Ham the Grumpig. And then at Undella Bay, we catch Seal Jerky the Spheal, who quickly evolves into Seal Jerky the Walrein. Afterwards, we have our 3rd rival fight. Ham handles his Unpheasant, Oh Dear can handle his Simisage, and finally, Bug takes out his Samurott. And after that, we team up with our rival to take on Zinzolin of Team Plasma. We bring out Emboar while our rival brings in Samurott, and we're up against Cryogonal and Golbat. Cryogonal sets up a light screen, and Samurott goes for a useless Encore for some reason. Golbat lands an Air Cutter for a little damage, and then we land a Flame Charge to take out Cryogonal. Sneasel is in next, and it hits Samurott with a Slash before being destroyed by an Arm Thrust. Our rival lands a Revenge for negligible damage, and we switch out our Flaming Pig for our Psychic Pig to take out Golbat and the Garbodor that comes next. Well, our rival sure was a lot of help with this fight. Thanks for nothing, dickwad. With Team Plasma out of the way, we can reach Route 12 where we grab Cheerio the Combi, but they are male and can't evolve, so we yeet them into oblivion where they belong. But now we'll be taking on Drayden, the 7th gym leader. He starts with Druddigon, and we bring out Sprinkles. We land an Acid Spray for little damage, but it cuts his special defense pretty harshly, and we're hit by a Crunch for over a third of our HP. This also activates our Weak Armor ability. It drops our defense, but raises our speed. We land another Acid Spray to further lower their special defense, and Druddigon then goes for a Revenge, not dealing too much damage. We've lowered their defenses enough, and a Sludge Bomb can take out Druddigon. Flygon comes in next, so we swap to Oh Dear on a Crunch. But we outspeed on the next turn, and Hornleech does big damage and completely heals us. Flygon then uses Earth Power for little damage, and a second Hornleech takes out Flygon. And thanks to Drayden's questionable move choices, we are fully healed. Haxorus is in next, so we go for a Jump Kick, taking out quite a bit of its HP, and then it uses Dragon's Dance to boost its speed and attack. We land another Jump Kick to bring Haxorus low, but its Citrus Berry heals it to just under half HP. Haxorus then hits us with a Dragon Tail, wiping out most of Oh Dear's HP and forcing them to swap out for a random Pokemon, and Sprinkles is back in. Sprinkles can't survive an attack, so we switch to the Baconator on a Slash, and they lose over half of their HP, so they can't stay in either. We bring out Swan, but the exact same thing happens, and I realize we aren't winning without sacrificing one of our Pokemon. So we choose to trash Sprinkles, and that gives us a clean opportunity to bring in Seal Jerky, who barely survives a slash, but then lands an Aurora Beam for the KO to win the 7th badge. Team Plasma then shows up in their flying pirate ship to freeze Pellucid City, so we take them on and have our second fight with Zinzolin. But without our rival to slow us down, we take care of him pretty quickly, and this lets us take on the 8th gym leader, Marlin. He starts with Caracosta, and we bring out Cactus Juice. Giga Drain leaves them with just 1 HP thanks to their Sturdy ability, and they can land a Crunch to take out close to half of our HP. But Marlin heals Caracosta, so we can use another Giga Drain to heal back all of our HP, and then land a Needle Arm for the KO. Wailord comes in next, and our Giga Drain just misses the KO, and they use Amnesia to double their special defense. So once again, we land a Needle Arm for the KO. Marlin's final Pokemon is a Jellicent, which hits us with an Ominous Wind to take out under half of our HP. Giga Drain restores most of it, but their Cursed Body ability activates to stop us from using Giga Drain again, and thanks to its Citrus Berry healing it, we might be in a losing situation here. So we swap to Oh Dear on an Ominous Wind, which we're immune to, and then a Leech Horn is strong enough to take out Jellicent and earn us our final badge. We now enter the Giant Chasm, where we have 2 potential encounters here, and we end up finding Porkchop the Piloswine, who will become the 3rd and final member of our Ham Fam. We evolve them into a Mamoswine, and then they die to a critical hit Night Slash from Zinzolin's Weavile in a double battle with our rivals, Help. And that help is in air quotes because this idiot won't stop trying to use Encore. We bring in Bug since the Baconator was injured earlier in the fight, but guess what? Weavile lands another critical hit Night Slash to take them out. So Duck is in next, and Weavile lands yet another critical hit Night Slash. But Duck survives off of 1 HP in some Power of Friendship nonsense, and our Rhino finally makes themselves useful and takes out Weavile with an Aqua Tail. With our supply of food running low, we're gonna need some way to power them up, and one way to do that is to get better moves. So we head over to the PWT to do rental battles so none of our Pokemon die, and we can gain BP 1 point at a time so we can buy some TMs. Now that'd take forever, we just head to the battle subway where the Baconator definitely didn't die multiple times. But now that we have stronger moves, we can take on Zinzolin for the 4th time in the last 10 minutes. Except we don't get to use them because the Baconator hits themselves in confusion 3 times in a row. But between Seal Jerky and Oh Dear, we're able to take the win with no more deaths. And now it's time to take on Colress, who would have been a walk in the park if we had our 3rd little piggy, but they're 6 feet under, so we have to bring out Ham against his Magneton. And our Bulldoze does surprisingly little damage and we get paralyzed. Colress switches to Magnezone on another Bulldoze, being brought to just over half HP. We switch to Seal Jerky on a Flash Cannon, and despite the speed drop, Magnezone is still faster and lands a Discharge to bring us to just 5 HP. On top of that, we get paralyzed. But Seal Jerky powers through and lands a Bulldoze for the KO. Klinklang is in next, so we swap out to the Baconator on a Thunderbolt, not taking too much damage. Klinklang then uses Shift Gear to boost its attack and speed, and we land a Flamethrower, just missing the KO. Colress heals, but another Flamethrower brings them down to the same place. Klinklang then uses Giga Impact, and the Baconator goes down. Oh Dear comes in and avenges the Baconator with a Horn Leech. Metang is in next, so we land a Jump Kick for decent damage before they use Agility. We still outspeed, so we land another Jump Kick before they use another Agility. They are faster now and go for a Meteor Mash, but they miss and we land a Horn Leech for the KO. The EM comes in next, so we hit them with a Horn Leech for solid damage, and then they use Calm Mind to boost their special stats. But they won't get to put them to use since we land another Horn Leech for the KO, and all that's left is Magneton. And while it survives a jump kick and paralyzes us, it doesn't survive the next turn and we win the fight. Our next major fight is up against Getsis, and I am not confident in our current team's ability to handle him now that the Baconator is dead. But there is one Pokemon that I think will give us the power we need to win. This here is a hidden grotto. Every 256 steps, it has a 5% chance for something to spawn inside. And the one I'm in right now only has a 1% chance for that something to be a Pokemon I would love to take a bite into. We take a look at the Entralink, a mechanic I absolutely should have been using sooner. It allows us to gain temporary buffs like bonus XP and better hidden grotto regeneration chances. According to Cerebinet, we unlock this power once we hit level 10, so we grind missions while checking back in on our grotto, and it turns out the black/white level 10 doesn't mean black or white level 10, but black and white level 10, so we can't reach this without connecting to white 2. So yeah, looks like I'll just be raw dogging this hidden grotto at full odds. See you all next month when I finally catch this Pokemon.